Here's another story. Kevin is 6'8", 150-some kilos, 27 years old, has a full-on diagnosis of fetal alcohol, has social problems, drives a taxi for a living. Two guys get into his taxi. Do you like pizza? Well, take us to the pizza store. They go in, rob the pizza store, put the money in their pocket, grab 2 slices of pizza, get back in the car. Here's your pizza. Take us around to the corner to the parkade. Here's 20 bucks. He's eating the pizza. The police show up. Okay, this story's been duplicated. Now, here's what I really want to talk to you about. This is the hard stuff. I'm a competent trial lawyer. No one told me about fetal alcohol in law school. I was a lawyer for 15 years before someone told me about it. I'd never seen it in any court document. So I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And eventually, I start to learn a bunch of stuff. One way you want to learn about something, have a judge phone you up and say, David, there's a conference next month on fetal alcohol. We'd like you to present a paper. I did. There's a copy back there. It's on the website. It's called Mistakes I've Made with Fetal Alcohol Clients. You might want to take a look at it. It's on the web. I'll tell you how to get it. It's there. It's just a list of every mistake I made. And you can take out lawyer and you can put in doctor, psychologist, nurse, social worker, because we all made the same mistakes. Kevin is in jail for 2 years, but it's a facility for retarded adults. He gets out every 3 months for a weekend to get back. He's back at home, and we're with his parents. We're doing a big presentation the next day to 400 people to try to get some money from them to build a halfway house for men coming out of jail with fetal alcohol. And Kevin's been locked up with these retarded adults and severely schizophrenic and mentally retarded adults. And he'll tell you, I ain't no fucking retard. And see, social skill? Okay. And he wants attention. He's a big boy. We're in a small room, the computers in the home, and Kevin's mother, is there a small woman here? This woman here, smaller than this woman in the peach blouse. Teeny, teeny woman. And his father's about the size of the woman in the peach blouse. And he's a big adopted boy. Okay, Kevin is such a problem. When he was in grades 2, 3, and 4, and 5, his father had to pay the neighborhood kids so he would come to his birthday party. Because his behaviors were so difficult, other kids didn't want to play with him. Okay? So that's the kind of thing we're dealing with. He doesn't have that social get along with other people, doesn't get things, is rigid, okay? Temper, dismaturity, all of that stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. So Kevin's about to lift off, and I fear there's going to be some smashed stuff around here, there's going to be some problems, and I don't know what to do. My uncle runs an outdoor center. In the 70s, did you have emotionally disturbed teenagers in the 70s and the 80s? That was the label when I was emotionally disturbed teenagers. No, not the normal ones. And we got a lot of these kids, and they had all of these problems, and we run a kayaking, mountain climbing kind of place. And what my uncle used to do with some of these problem kids, and he was a big football player fellow, he would pick them up, and he would hold them and give them 2 very distinct messages. One message is, I'm the biggest man you've ever met. And the second message is, I really do care for you. And it took me a while to put this together. He's about to blow up. And this is what I say. Kevin, I'll talk to you in 15 minutes. We have some work to do. I want to talk to you. I'll talk to you in 15 minutes, okay? Concrete language. Okay? This is what he does. He hangs onto my hand for 45 minutes while we dictate and do all this stuff. And he's standing there, tears streaming down his face. Now, you know what the problem is, don't you? There's no connection in his life. See where my hand is? It's over his heart. This is an accident for me. What the hell is going on? I'm a lawyer. What the hell is this? I am embarrassed. And he is not letting go. And he is much bigger than I am. It's true, you know. As a lawyer, you find yourself in these embarrassing places, you know, like, they didn't teach me this in law school. And I had to talk to some friends of mine who are psychologists, and they explained to me, David, you're rather stupid. He's lonely. He's been rejected all his life. He has a life of shame and failure. Shame is a core issue here. They live with shame. They would rather act bad than say for the 12th time and go, I don't understand, Mrs. Smith. You know all that, right? And so what I'm learning here is, this is a core experience for me. I'm in the legal business. But unless I know this stuff, I'm in deep, deep, deep trouble. You got that? Now, can you see external brain? What's a component of an external brain going to be? You got that? There's a component, because you have to deal with issues of loss. grief, shame. You understand those core issues? This is hard stuff for lawyers. We're not trained to do this. But unless you do, you have problems. Okay? Thanks very much. I think he's better looking than Tom Cruise, don't you? Now, if you turn the page over, we're getting to the meat of the matter. The meat of the matter is Diane Malbin 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Now, we're about to do a whole bunch of stuff at once. Joel, does everybody have the last handout?
You have about the 20 that I gave you when we first
Okay, okay.
the people down your rights,
Okay, you will get this handout and we'll have to soldier through it. I'm going to ask you to hold about 6 or 7 things in the air at once now, but you can do it. What Diane Malbin says is, and this is the kind of the pathway, match the brain to the task. How many times have you been to a court or a social situation where the person who is the recipient of the service has no clue what's happening? Happens all the time in court. And your client, I'll explain later. You know, how many times do we do that? She says, match the task. See the brain. Second thing is, what are your assumptions? I am a white, privileged male. I have 12 years of university. My mortgage is almost paid off. I'm just like you, okay? We are the tip of the iceberg. Most of our clients aren't. Am I coming through? We have all kinds of assumptions. I wouldn't do that. That's not appropriate behavior, all that sort of stuff, you know. Okay? The next one is, you know this, you know, stretching your definition of success. And the big one is change their environment. We do that really easily. We move people, we put them in different places. The reason I showed the demonstration about Kevin is the number one environment you've got to change is the one in here. But you know that, okay? So that's Diane Malbin. Now, what we're going to do is roar through the most important thing here. We're on interventions now. Eventually you'll get this piece of paper, and this is from this book. And eventually everybody will get a copy. Worst case scenario, Joel has promised me, and Fiona has promised me, that she will scan the stuff and you can get it electronically. Is that correct? Yes. You got that? You don't have to take notes. Okay? So, there's this page here. We turn the page over, and there's a kind of a chart. It's very helpful. You'll read the chart. And then you get to the next page, and those people who have this second page, it will say secondary and primary behaviors. Do you see that page, those of you who have it? Okay, so a primary behavior is a behavior as a result of the alcohol dissolving brain cells and missing brain function. So it's a brain function behavior, and here's the list. Suggestibility, impulsivity, failing to demonstrate remorse, not understanding time, notions of value, concrete language, missing social cues, unable to understand the point of view of others, distractibility, dysmaturity, I'm going fast, I know, slow processing pace, memory problems, difficulty abstracting. Here's a common example. Don't fight in the schoolyard. Don't fight in the schoolyard. I told you, don't fight in the schoolyard. I wasn't fighting in the schoolyard. I was fighting on the way home. You got that? Okay? Okay. There's a list of primary behaviors. The secondary behaviors are the result of a chronic, poor fit. If you have these brain function issues, you are not going to fit well, are you? If you have language problems, you lack maturity, you have a memory problem. I mean, here's the bottom line. Here's my latest hobby horse. It just irritates me. You hear all this stuff about tough love? Here's how prison works. Prison works like this. Can I bore you for a second?